God so much for helping me, because the benefits that I know that I will feel are like incalculable. Like to be rejuvenated. Basically, there are something called mitochondrial pairs, and that is basically the measure of how much you have aged in life. So as you get older, the mitochondria gets shorter and smaller. Fasting itself makes those hairs grow, which really gives you longevity, more longevity in your lifespan. Apart from it really helping regenerate cell growth of all times, of all types, including stem cells, brain regeneration, memory. It can help you reverse diseases. It actually has like a chemical that becomes active in your brain that is present when you do exercise, which reverses dementia and Alzheimer's. Um, its effects are incredible. I'm planning and hoping that it will help me to heal for good. My eczema, which is an autoimmune disease, which for people who don't know is basically a disease where your body itself is the culprit. It's the one that's attacking itself. Which is why, doctors and scientists don't have a cure, and they don't know how to approach a disease that comes from within you, let's say. And the reason that it comes from within you is the link between all people who have fibromyalgia, and a lot of neuroscientists have in recent years been doing extensive research in this area, that it's all linked to very traumatic experiences. The correlation between all the people, it's typically women, but there are men also. My father also had fibromyalgia. Really what it is like what they call it is a chronic pain disorder. So everything hurts like all the time. It's usually for me within the tendons, like of the joints. After my healing of my traumas and my psychedelic experiences, the amount of pain like decreased significantly, to the point that I, was like, oh, maybe it's cured, but then, and my eczema as well, but then it came back recently. But usually there's flares when it's healing. But I'm surprised, because when you heal all your energetic trauma, which is the cause of like disease and mental illness, then I would expect it to in turn heal. But I thought maybe it will just take some time. But recently I've noticed that it is not completely healed. And then I asked Spirit to help me find the path to healing completely my fibromyalgia as well as my eczema, which are both autoimmune diseases. And he gave me the answer of a fast. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm hoping that that will be resolved by the end of this experience, which I think will be 7 days is what I'm aiming for. So I'm hoping tomorrow will be just as wonderful as today. I don't have to cross my fingers because I have asked God, and I know that it will be. And I hope this will be an eye-opening experience for you. Go into exactly what ketosis is if I haven't already done that. So we'll go into what that actually means, what happens during the process of fasting. And then I will continue to let you guys know how I'm doing on a hour-by-hour basis. Good morning, and it's the first day of starting my 7-day fast, water-only fast. So far, so good. I haven't gotten hungry yet. And usually I'm hungry by the moment I wake up. I feel in high spirits. I think everything's going to be great. I'm excited absolutely for the results. All right, let's see what happens. I feel like today might be the hardest, and I don't think it's going to be that hard. I don't know. I really, God helps you through the process. If you ask, regardless of whatever your reasons are, whether they're spiritual or for physical, emotional, rebalancing, detoxing, or resetting, whatever your reasons are, the motivation's always good when it's for your self-care, self-love, and for your best benefit. So if you do ask, then you will get the help. And so that's why I'm so, happy or whatever, because usually I would not be happy to not be eating for many days, but the benefits are so amazing that I just feel like it's really just one day, because it's today, and then tomorrow will be it's really just one day, and then before you know it, you're through the major initial hump, and then it's on to the ketosis, which I'll explain to you guys what all that means. In the meantime, I've been drinking, so I had 1 cup of coffee and then a ton of water. So I've been drinking half a liter. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like at least 2 liters of water today. The recommended amount is like 2 to 3 liters, which is like half a gallon of water, but I drink like so much more than that. I think if I'm doing a fast, I would probably need to drink like at least 2/3 of a gallon or a gallon a day. But let's see what happens. Hopefully I don't run out of water. I've been really good energetically, and as far as like I haven't been hungry yet, but again, like I know that's God. That's not like typical. Usually I'd be starving at like 9 o'clock this morning. So far so good. I'll check in with you guys if I get any hunger pangs or if anything else goes down. Hey guys, so it's been like 3.5 hours. It's around lunchtime since I woke up. So far so good. So I do realize that 3.5 hours is not that much, but I do have a weird relationship with food, so for me it kind of is, but we'll get into all that later. So it's 3 p.m., day 1. So far, really, really good. Oh, I'm sorry, is that like super, super bright? It's been surprisingly like way easier than I had expected, even though I anticipated that it would be easier and that, God would help me through it and all that. And I also have not been smoking hardly any weed. I mean, I took a few puffs, but I'm trying like not to do that, so it won't get crazy. And I'm gonna see if I can, now that I'm in good spirits and I still have my energy about me, maybe do a little bit of exercise or dancing around, because I really doubt I'll be doing it later on, even though that does speed up the process of ketosis. But yeah, I'm just trying to get through it. So check in with you guys soon. I think I forgot to mention, so from yesterday 9 p.m. to today 3 p.m., it's been 18 hours. I calculated that off camera, so. Yes, so what the hell is ketosis? So to explain it in the simplest way possible, there is a biochemical process that happens in our body when we break down food that we ingest. The body typically breaks down carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are found in sugar and starch. So anything that contains sugar and starch, most things have a certain amount of carbohydrates, whether it's fruits, because people are like, what the hell is even a carb? And so if that's difficult to understand, then it'd be difficult to understand what the whole process even means. So carbohydrates are starches and sugars. They can be found, the typical thing that we think of when we think of carbohydrates are things like rice, pasta, and bread. Sugar itself is also carbohydrates. And then things contain carbohydrates, like a glass of milk, or like a serving of fruit, or a fruit itself, or whatever. They all have certain amounts because it contains natural sugar in the fruits and vegetables, or in whatever it is in the actual sugar itself, and that is the amount of carbohydrates that it contains. So just so you guys understand that part. I'm not going to try to talk about food, because if you guys are fasting and you're watching this, maybe you don't want to hear about that. But just to explain the whole thing, typically your body breaks down carbohydrates. That's why you can get and gives you energy from that. The caloric intake that you eat in a day, your body gets the energy from that day from that of what you're eating. And it comes typically from carbohydrates. So that is the normal way that our body breaks down food in order to give us energy. Ketosis is the biochemical process by which your body, instead of breaking down complex or simple carbohydrates that you ingest, it actually breaks down fat. And so if you do not include carbohydrates, then the metabolic process, the energy that you're going to get throughout your day, during the process of ketosis is going to come from either fat that you ingest or that's already contained within your system or your muscle, lean muscle as well. So that's actually what happens during, sorry, it's like really hot here. That's what happens during the process of ketosis. Your body will switch. It's like a switch that happens. It switches your metabolic intake to get its energy. Instead of from carbohydrates, you get it from fat deposits. And that's just what your body is doing metabolically. But what happens on a physiological level is something totally different. Hold on, I gotta turn this AC up. Sorry, there's like a heat wave going on. So, as I was saying, that's why ketosis is triggered during a water fast. The process of ketosis can take anywhere between 3 and 5 days of deprivation from carbohydrates or deprivation in general, hence a fast. So within 3 to 5 days, your body will go into the process of ketosis. You can test it with kits that test the ketones in your urine, but I'm not going to do all that stuff because I know that I'm going to get into ketosis eventually. And a way that you can determine that without actually having to buy a test or do any of those things is sort of like the intake of water. I drink a huge amount of liquids. And so when you're not in ketosis, you're going to obviously pee more while you're getting into that process. But once you are in ketosis, you're actually going to pee like as if you're not drinking these copious amounts of liquid. So that's how I'm going to tell when I'm actually in the process of ketosis. So while ketosis is great, to get healthier or to lose weight and things like that, the process of fasting is way more beneficial than any, I don't want to say like superficial, like any kind of aesthetic reason. And not that there's ever anything wrong with that at all. It's wonderful to want to get healthy. But the benefits of it are just, it includes way more than just the benefits of how you're going to look. Like physiologically what it does, it like rejuvenates you internally. It basically resets your entire system. It's like rebooting the computer, like a system reset. And it's crazy that your body would even be built that way. And if you think about it, from biblical times, the way that fasting helps you, it's sort of like if you're starving, right? As long as you have water, within like 7 to 10 days, you're actually going to feel more vitality and health. And, your muscles will get stronger, your body will get leaner. You'll have energy. Of course, you'll still be hungry if someone put like a plate of food in your face. You're not going to be like, oh no, I'm good. I mean, you might be able to do that. But what I mean is you're still going to want it. But I try to understand in the way that I've understood from all the medical research that I've done, because there's not a lot of research even on the subject in general. But there are numerous studies that say at least verify the most important parts, which is that verified scientific confirmation that fasting itself can cure a myriad of diseases, including terminal cancer. And there's also a clinic of this doctor that I'll mention, who helped aided in a lot of the really interesting information that I researched about fasting. He runs a fasting clinic, which is, anybody who's struggling with a disease and would like to heal that, you would absolutely need to have, your fast be medically supervised. But for everyone else who's in a healthy state and is doing this for other reasons, for me, I am, attempting to cure my fibromyalgia and my eczema, and well, I am curing it. I don't give a damn about my reputation. Living in the past, it's a new generation. A girl can do what she wants to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. If anyone ever told you to smoke weed while you're doing a water fast, don't listen to them. They lied. No, they were significant hunger pangs. But I prayed to God and He made them go away. Because what I was saying in my other video is talking about things from a different perspective, how this is more than just deprivation of food, which, causes whatever effects. It's a quantum shift in vibration, in being. Being in that high vibrational state where nothing external can shift that except you're shifting upward. Most of my entire life, adult life, I would eat once a day at night, like dinner, late, if not maybe dinner every 2 nights. And I felt terrible. I felt like lethargic. I felt like a zombie, no energy. I slept a lot, in a state of very deep depression. It was not because of the food, but that contributed to my energetic state of being, at least in a physical sense, a lot. Over my transformation, particularly within the last year and a half, I overcame severe depression from a dark night of the soul that lasted for several years. Suicidal ideation. I didn't, it was more than like, oh, what would it be? No, I didn't want to be here anymore. I couldn't be here anymore. Addiction to opiates, severe depression. And I was able to overcome all those things. I went through cycles of like focusing on like mental, physical, emotional, spiritual well-being in cycles. And after I was able to, it's a long process, I want to skip over it, of healing my trauma, which was within all those years that I was going through the dark night of the soul. It's really just a purging of pent-up emotions that you've had. So if you think, oh, I'm in a state of depression and I've been like this for months and I've been crying and I'm doing nothing, you are doing something. I know it doesn't seem like it just seems really horrible and uncomfortable, but within you actually crying, this is both physiological, spiritually, and scientifically. You are literally purging emotions. There are literally health benefits that are scientifically proven that happen within your body when you cry, because it's a release of emotion. It is a release of pent-up stored energy that you have within your body. And so that's what I did for years. And after doing that, I was finally able to focus on my inner well-being. I wanted to eat all the superfoods, avocado, flax seeds, chia seeds, everything green, and everything colorful that I eat now and I incorporate in every meal. I did that before, but it was just one meal. I mean, there are doctors that might say that, but I'm not going to get into that whole thing of intermittent fasting or anything like that. My healthy way of being is to eat all the time. But I thought it was absurd. I thought that I honestly, before, I felt like, oh my God, like eating is so annoying. And when I was very hungry, I smoked a lot of weed. The food that I make and my mom is otherworldly delicious. So I'm drinking some green tea. I'm surprised it's like so delicious without any sugar or anything. Or honey. And now I'm gonna hop in the shower. It's been 24 hours since I ate last. So I just got out of the shower. I feel good. It's been 24 hours without eating, 25 now, of my water-only fast. I finished the night off with a green tea, which is surprisingly, the way that God is, blessing me with not being hungry at all is insane, because I had to delete some videos because I didn't have any space. But what I was trying to explain previously was that my relationship with food was really off my whole life. I saw it as like I live so much in my mental body as like a very extreme introvert that I am. I won't get into like the nature of what I resonate with as far as like my lineage or anything like that. Suffice it to say that I never really had, I never felt connected, I guess, to my body or to the density of this like three-dimensional world. If you guys understand what I mean, then you do. But what I mean is, it always seemed like such a hassle to me, such a like struggle to eat in a healthy manner. Like I saw what it took, how my dad was like he was so super into like superfoods and healthy eating and like exercise and just like sort of an overall healthy lifestyle, except for his addiction to alcohol. Everything else was like super super healthy, with which ironically is actually what helped him live as long as he did. I saw what it like, sort of the lifestyle commitment it took to being healthy, and I was in such a deep level of pain mentally and emotionally that I didn't care to deal with my physical life. And God, spirit, source, the universe, whatever you want to call it, has helped me so much, particularly in the last 6 months, to step into like really caring, like listening to my body. Like when you're hungry, you need to eat. When you're thirsty, you need to drink water. And I've done that. That's actually where it started. Because what you don't realize is when you're being lazy about taking care of yourself, it's not because you're being lazy, because maybe you're not lazy in any other place in your life except taking care of yourself. So that actually tells you something in itself, which is that you lack ambition towards taking care of you, which is really just a lack of self-love. So in healing that first, like changed completely from a person who ate once a day, maybe twice, maybe once every 2 days, to have this like weird relationship with food where like I can be hungry and not have an appetite. And that's sort of the level that I stayed at always. Um, to develop a very healthy relationship with food where I wake up and, I'm on this circadian rhythm, which I got into not by myself. It was after some sessions of acupuncture and psychedelic medicine really got me on that circadian rhythm. And now I eat between the windows of like 8 and 6 p.m. or 9 to 5, 3 times, whenever my body tells me to, and including, good meals, like everything superfood, oatmeal, chia, flax seeds, avocado, all kinds of greens, you know, peppers, huge amounts of garlic, onions, things like that. And it's been amazing. And so at one day, when I after I started this, we ran out of food, and I was literally started shaking. Like it was 3 hours maybe since my last meal. I literally was like, oh my god, I'm gonna walk um, to the ATM, and then I'm gonna see if I can make it to any food stand. Like I literally started shaking and sweating after like maybe 3 hours of not eating, and I was like, holy shit, like I don't think I could do a fast because I literally cannot like be okay for a few hours. So like the fact in itself that I've been okay for 24 hours without food at this point, when I've really accustomed my body to eating that way, is like a miracle in itself. If you really knew me personally and you saw me on a day-to-day basis and the transformation that I've made, as far as my lifestyle, then you would be like, what the fuck? Because if you knew me before and I didn't eat, you'd be like, yeah, okay. But it's not the same when you have gotten into this like healthy circadian rhythm of like eating all the time. So just that in itself is miraculous to me. So it's been over 24 hours, and so far so good. Just one thing, I mean, it's odd. I feel more energetic. Like now that it's nighttime, it's 12 right now. Usually well, usually like 10:30, I start getting tired and sleepy. So, yeah, I retract what I said previously, that it's a bad idea to smoke weed on while you're fasting. Um, but maybe that's just another one of God's blessings, because I don't know, man. So far, so good. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to sleep late, but that's because I was making videos and stuff. So I just made the video because I am getting, hunger really at a minimum as long as I drink water. Although I have been taking chia seeds, flax seeds with my ginger and cinnamon tea in the morning and night, and green tea. Everything unsweetened, or it would break the fast. That's why you can take those things. Additionally, they really just help to give you a bit more of a boost with vitamins and minerals, and you're not supposed to add any supplemental actual like vitamin capsules or anything like that, for a lot of reasons that I won't go into, but you shouldn't, because it could like stop your body from naturally producing that later or something like that. But yeah, I have a lot of back pain, and I have a sciatic nerve damage from like a fall like 11 years ago. So that is supposed to be like a pre whatever, I don't know, requisite or whatever, like a prelude to the healing of pain. So knock on wood, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.